I want to welcome you to tonight's City Council meeting of for the City of Columbia Heights for Monday, October 14th, 2019. Could I have a roll call, please, Nicole?
Councilmember Biskins.
Here.
Councilmember Williams.
Happy to be here.
Councilmember Mergen.
Here.
Councilmember Novitsky.
Here.
And Mayor Schmidt.
Here. And tonight our invocation is going to be provided by Bob Lyons from the Crestview Senior Community. Thank
Good
you.
to be here. Polish for good day is dzień dobry. Dzień dobry. So it is a good day to be alive, good to be present.
Yes.
Let us pray. Loving God, on this Indigenous Peoples Day, we're reminded that it takes many cultures to make a vibrant community. We're reminded of the many people who live here and make it such a wonderful place to live. We're thankful for the businesses and schools and churches that provide for prosperity and for growth. Lord, we're also thankful for our government, our city government, and the people who serve in it, and ask that you bless them with vision to make it an even better community. Guide them and strengthen them. We ask this in your good name. Amen.
Thank you. If you're able, please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next thing I'll read is our mission statement. Our mission is to provide the highest quality public services. Services will be provided in a fair, respectful, and professional manner that effectively address changing citizen and community needs in a fiscally responsible manner. Next item is the approval of our agenda. We do have several corrections or updates, I should probably say. Under proclamations on item 6, we are adding Justin Fletcher, Sergeant Fletcher, will be coming and make an announcement regarding the Nightingale Ward and Truck or Treat. And then item B will be Marie Davis, announcement regarding the Lee Carlson Center Gala coming up. And then we'll save the Polish American Heritage Month proclamation for item 3. And then under the consent agenda, 7G, we have a number to correct. The number was listed at $295,500. It should be $335,500. So it should be 335,300. That is the correction. And is that all? All right. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as corrected?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, for our first proclamation, Sergeant Fletcher.
Thank you, Mayor, council members. A few things to go over. Our first thing I'm talking about is Terry Nightingale Community Service Award. I'm going to read verbatim from the award nomination. I think it's well written. The Terry Nightingale Annual Community Service Award is reserved for up to one employee of the Columbia Heights Police Department and up to one member of another city department, partner, stakeholder, or member of the public. This award may be given to a person who has provided a significant contribution or several smaller contributions in the area of community policing or service to the community. This person will have an above-average relationship with the community. They will be service-oriented with a willingness to go above and beyond while considering no task too great or trivial to tackle. They will demonstrate an above-average dedication to their role, project, or partnership while showing a commitment to improving the Columbia Heights community. They will be known for their positive attitude and demonstrating the community policing philosophy in their words and actions. This nomination will be due by October 31st, so if you have anyone in mind, please see Captain Johnston of the police department, or you can reach him by phone or email. Secondly, this 2 weeks, we'll be having our second annual Truck or Treat. I know a lot of you were there last year. It was a wonderful turnout. We're hoping to grow on that. Some of the highlights this year will have vehicles from Anoka County Sheriff's Office, SWAT team, the Army National Guard, the police department, obviously, the fire department, Alina. My son's favorite will be the buses, I'm sure. Heavy equipment and a lot more. The food, the boosters will be having food for sale. I know Heights Next is doing some small bonfires and free s'mores, and the Lions will be handing out candy. Some of the entertainment will be there is the Puppet Wagon, They're having a dog costume contest and St. Matthew's Fish Pond, which I don't know what that is, but it sounds. That is on October 26th at Huset Park from 1 to 4 p.m. Kids can wear costumes and visit vehicle stations to get stamps on their postcard and turn the postcard in for a bag of candy at the end. So we're excited about that. And lastly, real quick, this Thursday and Friday over the MEA holidays, we are having our Teen Academy, which is an annual thing for the Columbia Heights High School students who are interested in law enforcement. Registration is not closed, so if anyone is interested and they know of someone who might be interested, please see Officer JP at the school.
All right.
But that's all I have. Thank you very much for your time.
That's a lot.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Maria Davis.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for letting me speak. This is our 40th anniversary of our gala for the Lee Carlson Center. And Lee Carlson Center has many different programs, one of which is Bridgeview, that I am happy to say I'm a member of. And that the proceeds for this, which is $100, and it's this Thursday, for at the Grand Olympian Ballroom. I think it's Old Maple Lane's bowling alley. But anyways, the money that is being raised for this is going towards the Bridgeview vans, which I use a lot. Seeing both of our vans, the big one and then the minivan. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. And you can call Kate King, which is a director of development, or email her if you want to get tickets. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. The last item on our proclamation presentation recognition is the Polish American Heritage Proclamation. I'll read that. This is for our sister city group for Lomianki, Poland. We have several representatives here today from our sister city group, and I'll invite them up in a few minutes. Whereas October is National Polish American Heritage Month, a celebration of Polish heritage founded in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in 1981 to bring attention to the many notable and important contributions by Poles and Polish Americans to the United States of America and the world. Whereas our Columbia Heights, Minnesota, Lomianki, Poland Sister Cities International Organization is celebrating its 28th anniversary. This all-volunteer group has been dedicated and active ever since a task force of community members was called together by founder Dolores Puente Strand in late 1989 after receiving approval from then Mayor Dale Hadrath. Whereas our sister cities members have been true in spirit and in deeds to our original goals, promoting educational, humanitarian, civic, and cultural activities. Whereas a number of our members are also official members of Polish American Cultural Institute of Minnesota, PACM, and participate in their events and activities. Whereas our active members have successfully sponsored a variety of projects again this year, including SCI's Showcase for Young Artists with the cooperation of Columbia Heights High School and Columbia Academy Art Departments. A very successful student art exhibit was held at the Fine Arts Open House on March 8th, 2019. Also hosting a tabletop display for our sister cities at the Columbia Heights Community Picnic on June 27th, 2019. Chairperson Gloria Bergstrom coordinates the donation of boxes of English books for Lomianki Schools Library and our own Valley View Elementary School. Membership Chairperson Patricia Sawada coordinates the greeting card exchanges between Highland Elementary and Lomianki's elementary schools. A tree was planted in our city's Lomianki Park to commemorate the following Polish event anniversaries: the 75th anniversary of the Warsaw Uprising and the downing of the U.S. Air Force B-17, I'll Be Seeing You, near Lomianki, while on a humanitarian aid mission to Warsaw's endangered citizens, and the 80th anniversary of the start of World War II when Nazi forces invaded Poland. 3 of our members attended the annual solemn ceremonies commemorating Polish war heroes and American flyers in Lomianki on September 22nd, 2019. They are Gloria Bergstrom, Phyllis Husted, and John Benenke. The traditional October display of Polish posters and craftworks at our public library was again coordinated by SCI members General Ed and Seal Sikorsky, Franja Jensen, and Esther Gusek. Now therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Donna Schmidt, Mayor of the City of Columbia Heights, Minnesota, do hereby designate October 2019 as Polish American Heritage Month in Columbia Heights, Minnesota. And I have several copies here for people, and if I could get those presentations. One is to Dolores and one to Gloria, and then we have one for the Sister Cities group and an extra one.
And also, I was in Womianki, and my goodness, they took us on a fabulous tour. I could spend an hour, but I won't, telling you all about it. But anyway, one thing that they did send back was a, what would you call it?
Medallion.
Medallion
Yeah.
for the mayor's office, or we can put it in the showcase.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go, thank you.
Thank you. Here,
And,
just another picture.
oh,
Another picture.
okay.
Another picture. Thank you.
And, there's someone I'd like to introduce to you tonight, because he may be writing an article about all of us. Okay? I had to write it all down. His name is, thank you, Mark Dillon, and he's a new member, and he's a writer correspondent for the national newspaper Polish American Journal. He's also the second vice president of the American Council for Polish Culture. So he and I have been talking on the phone, and I've been sharing with him so many events or adventures I had in Womianki. So I'm kind of eager to see the article myself.
Could you come up to the microphone, please?
Good evening, and thank you, Gloria. Yes, I am the Minnesota bureau chief for Polish American Journal, and it's a monthly national newspaper in English for Polish Americans. And I interviewed Gloria on her wonderful journey to Lomianki with the other women as well. And we'll have a story in our November issue, and I'd be happy to forward it on when it's published. But it's wonderful to be a member of Sister Cities and to see the great collaboration between the city and Sister Cities. And the American Council for Polish Culture is an umbrella group which represents about 36 regional Polish American groups, Pochem being one of them, but there could be individual member as well. So thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Gregory Logash wanted to speak too, so
Oh, okay.
were you done? If you're not done,
Well, I don't know, did anyone have any questions? I do want you to know, and one thing I was really looking for while I was over there, we do have an established an English Learners Library. That is in one of the schools. But also I wanted to see if in fact Columbia Heights was recognized. And I am very happy to report there are all kinds of pictures about the Sister City organization, about Columbia Heights. I was taking pictures tonight because they want, their council wants pictures of all of you. So I'm going to be sending that. So yes, Columbia Heights is very much recognized as a sister city community and important to them.
thank you.
Thank you. the sister city has asked me to say a few words regarding the, okay. On behalf of Columbia Heights Sister City, the Polish Americans living in Columbia Heights, and thousands in Minnesota, I thank and commend the City Council for their affirmation and countless contributions the Polish Americans are making in our great nation. Thank you. Copy of the proclamation will be given to Lubyanki, the sister city of Columbia Heights. Dziękuję.
All right, thank you. All right. Thank you very much. And you got all the copies for the proclamation, correct? All right, thank you. All right, moving on to the consent agenda. These items are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted as part of the consent agenda by one motion. Items removed from consent agenda approval will be taken up as the next order of business. If there are no items to be removed, go ahead. Kelly, would you?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Item A is approval of minutes of the City Council. There are a number of these that I'll list. I will note that City Clerk Nicole caught some that had been missed from years past. That's why we have such a lengthy list, just to clarify why it is what it is.
Thank you.
So to move approval of the minutes of the City Council meeting of September 23rd, 2019, of the executive session of November 26, 2018, of the City Council work session of November 5th, 2018, of the work session of October 22nd, 2018, the work session of November 7th, 2016, and the work session of October 3rd, 2016. Item B is acceptance of board and commission meeting minutes, and those are the library board minutes from September 4, 2019, the planning commission minutes from September 4, 2019, the EDA minutes from September 23rd, 2019, the EDA minutes from September 3rd, 2019, the EDA minutes from July 22nd, 2019, and the EDA minutes from June 24th, 2019, and the Traffic Commission minutes from June 3rd, 2019. Item C is entering into a contract with Medica for employee health insurance for 2020 and entering into a contract with Nice Healthcare for home health care services for employees for 2020. You did receive updated numbers on your desk this evening. Item D is approval of a purchase agreement with Albrecht Sign Company for up to $18,000 plus electrical work and authorizing staff to enter into a related lease agreement with Heartland Tire Company for a shared pylon sign that's at our Liquor Store 3 location. Item E is approval of the DNR contract for the Silver Lake boat launch. Item F is approval of Resolution 2019-78, which is authorizing execution of an I&I grant agreement. Item G is approval of City Hall Architectural Services contract. That's with Leo A. Daly for the new City Hall at the corner of Central and 40th. Again, you have an updated memo changing that amount, and that total amount is $335,500. Item H is approval of Resolution 2019-79. That's the development contract for Friends of Prodeo, Inc. That's for the Prodeo Academy School. Elizabeth, our planner, is here if you have any questions or would like an update or an overview from her. Item I is approval of the business license applications from October 14th, 2019. And item J is review of the bills totaling $1,489,171.43.
If there are no questions from the council, can I get a move to approve the consent agenda items, please?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Councilmember Mergen, second by Councilmember Novinsky. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next item is public hearings. Resolution 2019-75, approving the zoning amendment, rezoning for the property located at 4230 Central Avenue Northeast. And then it's a PID 35-30-24-14-0075.
All right. Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the council. Pedro and Amanda Tapia of Tapia Investments, LLC, are requesting to rezone their property located at 4230 Central Avenue Northeast. The property is currently zoned limited business commercial and the property owners are requesting to change the designation to general business commercial. The zoning change would allow for the property to accommodate additional types of uses in the future. Currently, with the limited business classification, the owners are limited to certain types of uses for the site, whereas changing the designation could open up the property to additional types of businesses and be beneficial for the owners in keeping the space fully leased in the future. Attached with your report is a list of the permitted and conditional uses for each zoning district. The property is located again in the limited business, as are properties to the north. The properties to the south and east are located in the general business district. Properties to the west are located in a R2A residential district. The comprehensive plan guides this property for commercial uses, and the rezoning request would open the property up to additional commercial uses in the future if redevelopment were to occur. The request is in line with the overall future land use designation for the corridor and is consistent with the city's comprehensive plan. The Planning Commission reviewed the request at the October 1st, 2019 meeting and voted unanimously to recommend approval. So that's the recommendation that you have before you tonight to approve Resolution 2019-75.
All right, thank you. This is, any of the council members have any questions regarding this property? And this is a public hearing, so is there anybody from the public that would like to make comments regarding this property? Anybody from the public that would like to make comments regarding this property? All right, then can I have a motion to close the public hearing, please?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Councilmember Mergen, second by Councilmember Novinsky. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, then, if there are no further questions for Elizabeth, can we get a motion to approve?
Move to approve Resolution 2019-75, being a resolution approving a zoning amendment for the property located at 4230 Central Avenue Northeast.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Biskins, second by Councilmember Williams. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right, next item under public hearings is Resolution 2019-76, adopt assessment roll and levy a special assessment for delinquent accounts.
Good
Hi.
evening, Mayor, members of the council. Annually, staff recommends that the city council adopt a special assessment levy to collect miscellaneous charges on customer accounts that have reached delinquent status within the past year. These charges are for city-provided services required to maintain property conditions in accordance with city ordinances. In prior years, the city council has adopted a one-year payment period for this type of assessment. We are recommending the adoption of Resolution 2019-76, being a resolution to adopt an assessment roll and levy a special assessment with a one-year term for certain delinquent accounts.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions or comments regarding this from the council? No. Anybody from our audience? This is open to the public. Anybody from our public have any questions or comments regarding this? Then can I get a motion to close the public hearing and waive the reading?
So moved? Or where is it?
I need a second.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Novinsky, second by Councilmember Mergen. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Then if there are no questions, did we need to look at rates?
The interest rate is set at 4%, but if you'd like to change that, you could.
Is this, what has the rates been in the past?
So since this is only a one-year assessment, I think that the finance department is comfortable with a 3% rate.
Okay. Is there any discussion on that? Anybody opposed to changing it to 3%?
No.
Is there more? It seems like it went up quite a bit from last year to this year, because we're up to what, 400 and something compared to last year?
Yep, so when we originally assessed, so we prepare the roll at the beginning of September. And then between the September and today, when the actual public hearing is, we've actually had about $75,000 worth of payments already. And we'll expect probably another 10 or 15% paid down to that, which will be pretty close to what we ended up with last year. And as you recall, we stopped our previous process of shut-offs as a form of collections, so we did kind of expect to have an increased special assessment for the first couple of years.
When is the last date that people can pay on this before it gets put to their taxes?
They can pay until November 14th at 4:15 at City Hall.
Okay. All right, then, can we, if everybody's okay with changing the rate, can we have a motion to adopt changing the rate assessment to 3%? If somebody could read it with that, I would appreciate it, or unless, otherwise I can.
So just add it into the 76 here?
Add it
Tim?
into,
Move to adopt Resolution 2019-076, being a resolution to adopt an assessment rule and a levy a special assessment with a one-year term for certain delinquent counts at a 3% interest rate.
all right.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Novinsky, second by Councilmember Williams. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. Next, items for consideration, other ordinances and resolutions. We have Resolution 2019-77, adopting rates for water, sewer, and refuse services billed on or after January 1st, 2020. Hey, hi, Joe.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. The resolution before you to outline utility rates for the next 5 years, the proposal was first made available to you and to the public in August on the city website as part of the city manager's proposed 2020 budget. The combined effect of the three utilities of water, sewer, and refuse would be for an average bill, say a family of four residential, would be about a 4.5% increase, or $13 a quarter. That would move the bill from just under $300 to just over $300 per quarter. That's the overview. As you dig down into the details a little bit, as we discussed at the work session in September, that 4.5% increase is made up of quite widely varying changes at each individual utility level. So in the case of the water fund, there's about a 5.5% proposed increase. Sanitary sewer, about a 5% proposed increase. Refuse fund only has 0.5% as the proposed increase, because that fund has the strongest fund balance at this time. And then the storm sewer fund actually has the largest increase of them all at a proposed 10%, but the storm sewer charge makes up usually the smallest part of almost anyone's bill. So increasing that one by 10% doesn't have much of an effect on the overall bill. And those all four combine to get to the 4.5% proposed increase. As was included in your council letter and the other materials on the website, some of the main costs involved in the utility funds are something that the city of Columbia Heights really has no control over. So the city buys its water supply from the city of Minneapolis, and so as a price taker at that. And the city is required to dispose of its sanitary sewage through the Metropolitan Council's Environmental Service, and they are the rate setter there. Those are the two largest charges for those funds. In the in the storm sewer fund, there's some primary cost driver there is the need to either replace or improve upon infrastructure and meet newer levels of stormwater standards that didn't exist a decade ago. Are there any questions beyond this overview that I'm providing?
I have a general question. When is our refuse contract up for renewal?
I believe we're in the third year now of 5 years.
Mayor, members of the council, after, or at the end of 2019, we have another 3 years. It was a 5-year original contract.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any questions or comments? The other comment is if we could make sure that there are income qualified homeowners, the seniors, is that 62 and over? Is that correct?
Yeah,
It's on the website. If
the age cutoff, I don't recall. We can certainly follow up with you on that point.
If people have questions, they can call your office and, or who should they call?
Sure, so they can call the utility billing department for sure.
Okay.
For the income qualified senior discount, there's an annual application that the customer needs to file to show that they're income qualified and age qualified. And they get the lowered rates that are published there at the bottom of the rate resolution.
It's not a huge discount, but it is somewhat of a discount. I mean, like you said, the certain rates are set. We can't change those, but we can give them a little bit of a discount, and that could be helpful for some of our residents. All right. Can I get a motion to waive the reading, please?
Move to waive the read of Resolution 2019-77, there being ample copies available to the public.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Biskins, second by Councilmember Williams. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Then if there are no other comments, can I get a motion to adopt, please?
Move to adopt Resolution 2019-77, being a resolution adopting rates for water, sewer, and refuse services billed on or after January 1st, 2020.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Biskins, second by Councilmember Williams. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Thank you, Joe. At this time, moving on to item 10, City Council Administrative Reports. Reports, we've had some busy weeks with council. Connie, did you want to start?
Sure. Let's see. About a week and a half ago, I did a ride-along with Sergeant Justin Pletcher and Police Officer Derry Jones for the evening, and it was a very busy evening. We have great police in our department. They're very thorough, and it was quite an interesting evening. I volunteered for the Heights Next annual Fall Plant Exchange at Lomiaki Park. We had a great turnout. I attended the fire department open house, and I attended the library board meeting and their strategic planning meeting. They made significant progress. They came up with their vision statement, their new mission statement, and future plans for the library. They'll be editing and going over that at the next meeting in November. I volunteered at the Fix-It Clinic hosted by Heights Next in Anoka County and Community United Methodist Church, and we had 41 people show up on a nice rainy day. We had over 200 pounds saved from the landfill. It was a great event, very busy. So I want to thank all the fixers, all the volunteers, Community United Methodist Church for letting us have it there. It was a great event. And today and tomorrow I'm attending the Recycle Conference in Brooklyn Park. And it's very interesting, and they're starting to talk about circular economies, where we're starting to think about how when we make items, plastics, whatever, that they also thinking about the end use and how they can use that product at the end of its life for another type of product instead of throwing it into the garbage. Just for people's information, only 35.5% of items are recycled in the United States, which hopefully our city can help up that a little bit. And just a reminder for folks, they were talking about the machines that they use for sorting, and a question came up about crushing. My husband used to love crushing the cans and putting them in the recycle. They do not want those cans crushed. The machines pick up three-dimensional, and if it's as a two-dimensional, it won't pick it up. And the same thing for milk cartons or juice cartons. Same thing, do not crush those because they also need to see a three-dimensional object when they've got these robots. They've got a lot more robots involved. They're having a hard time finding folks to work for them, so they're starting to turn to robots now. So their sensors aren't able to pick up the flat. So it's been a great interest, and I look forward to continuing tomorrow. I've been learning a lot, and that's it.
Okay, Councilmember Williams?
Yeah, I just want to comment a little bit about the water rates going up. And I think people are getting to understand that we have some of the best water in the country here in Columbia Heights, thanks to Minneapolis Water Works. Some of the purest water that there is in the whole United States, right here in Columbia Heights. And a lot of people don't realize that. I've known that for a long time. Am I right, Kevin?
Mayor, members of council, taste is always subject to the individual drinking it, but I personally would agree with you. I think it's the best tasting water in the metro area.
That's also the most pure in the whole country. One of the
With the type of filtration that they have, yes.
The whole country. People don't understand that. And the other thing, I was at the Traffic Commission this last week, and there was 2 cases. One was for parking, which they agreed to, and it helped because people came and said, this is why we need this parking limited on this side of the street, and they approved it. And then there was another one for stop signs, and no one came for that, and they didn't approve it. So we have you have one of the city people that work on the traffic stops and accidents and stuff, and the Traffic Commission is a good part of someone who wants to start in the council and get on the traffic committee. It's a good one to be in. It's the first year I've ever been there. I enjoy it. Thank you.
Councilmember Mershon?
I got a couple things. First one is the open house for the fire department was a great turnout. It was a good time. The other one was the flag retirement that the VFW did last weekend, kind of in out of the raindrops, dodging them, but it was a good turnout, and they did burnt all their flags up for the retirement and stuff. So that's the legal way you got to do it, is burn them. So, and the other one was like to commend Scotty Rogstead for 40 years at Mersion Hall. He retired last Friday and had a little party for him. It was great, and 40 years of dedication. He was the one that went up and changed the billboard at the sign with those letters all the time, and he's going to be missed greatly. That's all I have.
Councilmember Novinsky?
Yep, I also was at the fire open house, great event as always. And then I also did make it to the homecoming game and tailgating last Friday in the super cold and snowy. Thanks to everybody that came out. Mayor, you were there. It was a good win for the team. I didn't stay for the entire game, I'll have to admit, because it got a little cold. But good turnout for the weather. Hope to see more people take advantage of the tailgating beforehand. And then the Lions had their cleanup on University and then the paper shredding with the city this time as well. And even with the cold, snowy weather, again, we ended up having 2 good groups. The Kiwanis Key Club and the ICS 8th graders came. We still got it all picked up, between 20-25 bags off of University. And the shredding was a pretty steady for the 2 hours, and it was 30 cartloads that were emptied into the truck. So I don't have an exact poundage, but about 30 of our garbage cans that were emptied.
Thank you. I was able to attend Bricks to Broadway at St. Matthew, their musical preview that they did. Fun time. Looking forward to their next musical. Firehouse Open House was a lot of fun. And then Kelly and I got to meet with representatives from our, personnel from staff, I guess, from Representative Omar's office, and try to set up some ideas on where they can help our city and work with us in different aspects. Got to go on the Mississippi Watershed Management Organization bus tour for staff and elected officials. Bus was great. It was an amazing bus, very comfortable. Seats were plusher than my car seats, but it was nice to see some of the different projects they've done over the years. They actually started in Fridley. They have some streets just off of University, where they've had done some bump outs and worked with the community. And actually, while we were there, one of somebody that was hired from the apartments was going around picking up garbage, and the city official said, "We didn't pay them to come out and do this," but yeah, they're excited because they're seeing a difference in the water that's going out. It's helped to slow down traffic. That's something that's been requested by, I know, some of our residents, to slow down some traffic in some of the areas. And just with simple bump outs, they did different plantings in some of these areas just to see how it worked. We drove past, next year they're going to be doing something at Columbia Park, the Columbia Golf Course. Showed us an area where definitely water had been building up, and they're going to be fixing that next spring. We went over, stopped at Edison High School, which is an amazing sight to see if you can get there, because there's a lot of road construction around the school right now. But they've done a great project with their field, doing an underground water basin. They actually use that to water the field in different areas around the school. They have some good, interesting signage. They worked with some art groups, and an artist, and the signs that they have for handicap parking, just it's all old. Looks like old ironwork, and it looks very, very nice. And they've used that kind of rusty theme throughout some of their stuff in the gate that closes up, that blocks off the football field when it's not in use. So it's a nice integration of art, and this is the history of this area too, of the factories that were there. And I can't remember how to pronounce it, Centers Market. We went there. That was one of their very first projects that they did. They showed us how it's grown up, how it's evolved, and some of the water, the water treatment that they've done in that area too, and how they've incorporated art with that also. Our last project we went to was Hal's Island, which is something that used to be there many years ago, but it disappeared as dredging came in, and they were bringing the boats up through the Mississippi, but now that Lock and Dam has been closed, they brought back the island. They have a little lighthouse on there, and the plans are to incorporate with the Minneapolis Park Board a system where they can actually walk over and take a look. People can actually look into the island, probably not set foot on the island, but the idea is so that they can do an overlook. And it'll be an interesting project to see how it turns out. So that was an interesting time. Kelly, I'll let you go.
I actually don't have much.
Okay.
Thank you to Sergeant Pletcher for going over the big activities that I would have covered. I do want to, first of all, just mention MEA is this week. Yes. So there is additional programming at the library and rec. So if you have children that need something to do later this week, check out the websites or give them a call. And then just to thank you, it's fun to listen to everything that the council does. It reminds me what great community organizations we have in this community and how unique that is. There's many communities where they don't have anyone involved, and we have so many, Lions, Kiwanis, Heights Next, all of these great groups of people that come out and do so much, even when it's snowing and raining and freezing. And so it's nice to get that reminder. So thank you all, everyone that participates in those. And that's all I have.
City Attorney, Jim.
Once again, nothing to report.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next item is our community forum. At this time, individuals may address the city council about any item not included on the regular agenda. Speakers are requested to come to the podium, sign their name and address on the form for the council secretary's record, and limit their comments to 5 minutes. Individuals are asked to state their name for the record. The city council will listen to the brief remarks, ask clarifying questions, and if needed, request staff to follow up or direct the matter to be added to an upcoming agenda. Generally, the city council will not take official action on items raised at the community forum at the meeting in which they are raised. Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak?
I do have one name.
Okay.
Rachel James.
All right.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. I am speaking on behalf of requesting as a citizen that Columbia Heights begins to recognize Indigenous Peoples Day. We have a large population of Native peoples in our city. We have them in our schools. Columbia Heights Public Schools hosts a powwow every year. There is many Native veterans in our city, and they proceed and process. And I know our students, especially our 6th grade students, have learned about the traditional homelands of the Dakota people here in Columbia Heights, and this place that we live on, and this land, which is still occupied and cared for by Native peoples. And I know that other municipalities are recognizing Indigenous Peoples Day, and with a large population of Indigenous people here, I would request that in the future we consider that, knowing that our state representative is Mary Kunesh-Pundin, who just recently spoke at a Heights Next First Lutheran event about her work in the state legislature about bill for murdered and missing Indigenous women. And so there's a lot to be done, and we can help lift up those residents of our city. Thank you.
May I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
If you have connections with the school, do you want to see if some students would like write up a proclamation so
Yeah.
that we could have it for next year?
I know that they have the organizing committee of the powwow that potentially might have adults and students involved, and I will look into that, yes.
All right.
Thank you.
so much.
Yep.
Is there anybody else that would like to speak in regards tonight? All right. Then can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Biskin, second by Councilmember Novinsky. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. We are adjourned.